Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Health Matters. Tonight in the studio we have a special guest, a doula, and her name is Rehana Shavus. But before I go on to speak more about her and unpack the role of a doula, we will begin with the tarbiyah. And I think it's important to appreciate that it is Women's Month, and therefore I'm going to be narrating this story. The story is about my Mother's Day. It comes from Islam and it touched me a lot, and I thought I would like to share this with the viewers. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. By Abdul Rahman Umar. I quote, open quote, "I love you, Mum," whispered Yusuf as he wrapped the soft pashmina shawl around his mother's shoulders. Her eyes lit up as she stroked the delicate embroidery on the edge of the shawl and said, "And this, Yusuf?" Yusuf looked at her with the excitement of a young boy unpacking his first bicycle. "Wait, Ma," he said, "there's more," he cried. And she said more, and then he took out and she found that there were black pearls and white pearls, and she said, "What's all this?" Yusuf stepped back and looked at his mother holding the pearl necklace close to her chest, admiring it. "Mum always wanted a pearl necklace," he said. Then he said, "It's my Mother's Day." He beamed. Began his mother, and she craned her neck to look at the calendar behind her. "But it's not Mother's Day, not for a while yet." A puzzled look settled on her face. "I didn't say it was Mother's Day," replied Yusuf. "I said it was my Mother's Day. But let me explain." He mentioned his friend Nasser, and he said Nasser looked very sad when he met him recently. And Nasser asked him if he had a few minutes to spare. And then Nasser said to him that he was asking the Maulana to make dua for him. And Yusuf asked him, "Why do you ask the Maulana to make dua for you?" So Nasser asked him, "Do you have a mother?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, Nasser said, "My mother passed away, and he lives with his family, his aunts, and they've been very good to him. But no one can replace the dua or the prayer of a mother. I lost that dua a long time ago." That's what Nasser said. Nasser said the doors of dua closes when a mother is gone. And when Yusuf learned that from Nasser, he said, "My Mother's Day will be every day. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow will all be Mother's Day. I can never repay you." That's what he said to his mother. "But I know the heart of a mother asks for no repayment. And if I can do nothing else for my Mother's Day, then I will at least thank Allah that He allowed my door of dua to be open for one more day." "Forgive me," Yusuf said to his mother, and his mother clasped his hands and stroked his face. "You are a good son. Allah Ta'ala will grant you lots of goodness in this world and the next. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen." And on that note, because it's Women's Month, we have invited Rehana Shavus to speak about the role of a doula. And the doula plays an extremely important role in the life of a confining mother. Rehana has been a practicing doula for the past 6 years, and she graduated at the Association of Doulas, DAUSA, but she will speak more to that and explain to you the qualifications and how she became a doula. Shukran dalilan for coming to the show tonight, Rehana.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaida, and assalamu alaikum to your viewers.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And once again, a warm welcome to you. So, we start with the role of a doula. what does a doula mean? Where does this come from? You know, the extract and origin of this word, it's quite alien and foreign.
Yes. A doula is a professional who is trained, not medical professional, someone that is trained to guide women and support women emotionally and physically prenatally, during birth, and postnatally. It is something that has been around for a very long time. It's many traditions do have a doula, although now they've given it more of a professional name. And I mean, if you look at different Eastern and traditions, they have doulas in the Indian culture, where we have trained aunties that would come home and do the baby massage and care for the mum. You have it in Spain, you have it in China as well, where these women are in the community and they actually looked upon quite specifically as guidance for mums after they give birth.
So the guidance, but I'm also hearing a little bit more about the physical, emotional, and psychological comfort that is provided to the confining mother.
Yes, and that is something that we often forget. We train mothers and we prepare them for pregnancy. And even if you look at the medical aspect, there's a lot of vitamins specifically for prenatal moms for pregnancy. There's exercises, but we don't actually prepare them mentally and emotionally to become a mother. And that is quite important, because a sane mother would be able to bring up a generation carefully, whereas you need to look after that emotional state of a mom. It is of utmost importance, and that's where the doula comes in. We create a safe space for them to offer whatever they need to speak about and make sure that they're mentally stable to be able to care for their future generation, starting off with a newborn baby.
So containing the emotional state of the mother, whose emotions are probably running around, where the hormones fluctuate, spike and go up and down all the time. Yes. During that period.
Yes, definitely. If you just look at the hormone levels from pregnancy to postnatal, there's a major drop. We need a lot of hormones during pregnancy. We need hormones to bring that baby, to birth that baby. The amount of hormones that is in a woman at birth is amazing, and you need to create that safe space. Something that we learn about is called oxytocin, which is the love hormone. And if a woman does not feel safe and secure, she's going to have a difficult birth. So it's something that is of utmost importance. Again, the oxytocin, if a mom does not have enough oxytocin in her system, when it comes to breastfeeding, she's going to have a difficult time. So again, you see how the emotional role plays in prenatal, postnatal birth.
So I'm beginning to understand now. You're saying that the role of the doula already begins before the mother actually has her baby.
Yes.
So you start providing comfort and support. How long before the actual birth does the doula get involved with the pregnant mother?
With me, as soon as the mom finds out she's pregnant. Some moms I've helped from 6 weeks, as soon as they found out they're pregnant, because they struggle with prenatal hormones. So much hormones in your system that you're struggling with nausea and dizziness and emotional instability, because you're not sure what this baby is going to bring.
Yes.
If it's a first-time mom, you don't know what a baby is about. And how are you going to transition from a single woman into a mother? So it's basically helping a mom settle and guiding her and helping her feel comfortable with the pregnancy. We also offer dietary advice, so to eat healthy, to eat the correct foods, to take the proper prenatal vitamins, and then offer exercises to prepare them and keep them healthy throughout their pregnancy, and then prepare them for birth. Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a very critical question. I think if we're looking at a midwife, say,
yes,
and a doula, how do you separate those roles? You know, what distinction can be made between the two professionals?
There's a big difference between a midwife and a doula. A midwife is a trained medical professional.
Okay.
They offer a lot of what we do offer. And I was at a conference on Friday, and the midwife told me, doulas are now doing what midwives were trained to do previously. And we focus specifically on your emotional stability, on the mental well-being of the mom, and keeping that safe space. We don't deliver babies. We don't do any medical interventions for the mom. That is something that is left specifically for the midwife or the gynae, because doulas offer support with a gynae birth, with a cesarean birth or natural delivery. We are not specifically for natural deliveries.
So what I'm understanding here, just
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is that you provide the emotional care, guidance, support, but there's no medical intervention. That's not what you are qualified for, and that's not your role and responsibility towards the pregnant mother and after the birthing process.
That's correct. So when we do our training, we are taught about the medical issues that can go wrong prenatally, during birth, and postnatal. But it is our job to pick up a problem and then refer them on and get the correct help for them. So it's not our job to try and sort it out ourselves. Whether it be issues with the birth itself, or say postnatally there's medical issues where the mom is not feeling well or the baby is not well, or even with regards to postnatal depression. If we find that a mom is struggling with it, we would pick it up and then refer them on to firstly their gynae and then a psychologist and further on.
Okay, so
Yes.
you realize you have limitations. Your role is not medical, but it's more the social and psychosocial and physical support and well-being of the mother.
Yes, you have to note that a doula is not a midwife. And there is sometimes a confusion because most people think, let me hire a doula, have a home birth, and do a delivery at home. You still need the midwife. We are not trained.
So the doula works in association with medical professionals.
Yes.
And do you work closely with the medical doctors or delivering the babies?
So with a doula, we're there. So if it's a birth situation, a doula will guide the mom, and we visit the mom at home initially. When a mom calls you up and says, I think I'm in labor, you would usually chat to them over the phone, because over the phone you can pick up approximately how far they are. And we would then, as the contractions get a bit stronger, go to their home, support them at home, because we all know that if you're in your own environment, you usually tend to dilate quicker. So we go and we support them at home and then accompany them to the hospital. Once you get to the hospital, we give you that safe space for the nurses to check on you, and then we offer that support in between.
So are you actually saying that the antenatal classes, like the breathing and birthing processes, do you actually go through that with the pregnant mother as well?
Yes, we do. I'm trained in antenatal teacher training as well, so I offer one-on-one antenatal classes.
Okay, so it's one-on-one.
One-on-one. I don't do groups. I find that if a couple, mother and father, are alone in their own environment, they tend to give you a deeper understanding of what they actually need. So I specifically go per couple and try and help them.
So you're quite hands-on, but it's also very personalized, the attention that is devoted to the mother and to the husband.
Yes, this is a very personal service. It's very one-on-one, like you say.
And it's a door-to-door service.
Yes. Lots of traveling involved, lots of driving throughout the day. So, but it's an enjoyable service, and it's something that you get to see the entire journey of a mom from the time she just falls pregnant throughout delivery, which is so rewarding, and then the postnatal. So it's an extremely rewarding profession to be in.
But it also seems like this journey that starts from the beginning, there seems to be a lot of exchange of dialogue between the mother-to-be and the doula.
Yes, and very personal dialogue.
Okay.
And very private, and something that you have to be able to keep to yourself and not offer it to anyone else, because they're using you as their safe space.
Okay.
It's something that women are very sacred in the way we do things. And you will find that one person that you would confide in, and it's sometimes there's things that they can tell you they can't even tell their own husbands or their mother or their sister. So they find that one space where they can chat to you specifically about the things they're going through, deal with it, and move on. And that's what we are for.
So you also offer the confidentiality
Yes.
and containment that they so desperately need.
Yeah, especially with having a new baby. And most of them feel that they can't just speak to anybody about the things that they're going through. They can't ask questions. Again, everybody comes home to visit you, and it's an exciting time, and there's a new baby. But everybody gives their own set of advices. And you're sitting here with 10 different things about one issue, specifically breastfeeding, and you don't know what to do with all of that.
Everybody's dishing out free
Yes,
advice, and
everyone.
everybody seems to be an expert on the subject,
Yes.
except the mother that's just had the baby.
Yes. So our job is then to gather all that information that she's had and maybe just filter it down a little bit, summarize it, and give a softer version of it.
Okay.
Yes.
On that note, we'll take an ad break and continue with the role and responsibilities of a doula. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Health Matters. For the viewers that have just tuned in, we've got Rihanna Chavus, who is the guest in our studio today, and she is talking about the role of a doula. What does a doula do? It's quite fascinating. We've just learned that the doula is somebody that has been trained to provide support and guidance before the birthing process, during the birthing, and postnatal support. Coming to the postnatal support, Rihanna,
Yes.
what kind of support do you actually give to the mother, to the newborn infant and the mother?
Okay, so postnatal support is something that's quite needed, I think, in our society. So we prepared for birth, and then we go to hospital, and there's excellent care from our nurses in the postnatal ward, and then we sent home. And once we sent home, we're alone at home with a newborn baby, and we have to start doing this all on our own. So you might have people in the family that can assist you, but a doula comes home to your own environment, and we offer that support where we can teach you and guide you and help you with the transition of being a new mother. So with a baby, it's assisting with basic things like how to feed the baby, breastfeeding, how much milk to give the baby, how to burp, specific basic things initially, and then how to bath the baby, how to massage the baby correctly, and how to care for the sunnat and the cord. For the mum, it's
So the circumcision as
circumcision,
well.
yes.
The doula will assist in caring and
making sure that it heals correctly.
the management of
the
that.
management of the baby post circumcision, and the other thing is helping the mum with breastfeeding and lactation support. It is quite easy in hospital because you have so many nurses. You ring a bell and they're right there. But once you get home, that bell isn't there, and not everyone knows, especially at night when everybody's sleeping. So the doula comes during the day, and we teach you the skills to be able to breastfeed your baby correctly, to make it easier for you. And then we offer postnatal massages. That is actually quite important. We don't see the benefit of that until it's actually done. A mom comes out of hospital full of pain, swollen,
Bruised.
sore. So what a massage does is it increases circulation, it stimulates healing, it helps with the well-being of the mother. Again, if a mother feels cared for, she feels happy. She creates oxytocin, the hormone, and then she starts producing more milk. So it helps with looking after the baby. It keeps her mentally sane. And then the counseling. So assisting the mother and chatting to her about her birth experience. We don't realize the importance of that.
Okay, so I like what you're saying. What I'm hearing you say is that it's also going through a debriefing process, something that one actually doesn't often think about. It's glossed over that it's actually very traumatic,
Yes.
the birthing process. All the preparation is not enough for the actual experience.
Yes.
And to have a helping hand and a lending ear that's actually actively listening to one's own feelings.
Yes, that's correct. We often have people that would come home and say something like, "Oh, did you have a natural or Caesar?" And our society is still a bit judgmental about having a cesarean delivery, I've picked up. Look, my job is going home and visiting families, and mostly in our community. And I think we need to support the mom for whatever choice she makes. We have to, be it a natural delivery or cesarean, be it breastfeeding or bottle feeding. It's something that we need to offer support and empower women to know that you're making that right decision.
But you're saying more than just support.
Yes.
I like what you're saying. I think it's also about respect and being non-judgmental.
Yes.
Allowing the mother the rights and prerogative to decide what is good for her or what she feels comfortable with.
My feeling is a mom always knows what her baby needs. Instinctively, you know what your baby needs. Instinctively, you know how much you can do. And you should not feel guilty if you haven't been able to birth your baby naturally, because you've brought this baby into the world. You've kept this baby, you've conceived this baby, and you've carried this baby for 9 months into a healthy, normal baby. You know what your baby needs. You're the only one that knows the feeling of having this baby move inside of you. So instinctively, we need to respect what the mother's choices are and support them with whatever they choose for their babies.
I've also heard that the doula assists when the baby is born and makes visits to the clinic. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yes.
Although you said there's nursing staff, but it seems like the doula's role begins very early in the pregnancy and continues through the birthing process.
Yes, because we've met prenatally, we've established that relationship with the mother. So the mother feels comfortable. So she feels it would be nice if a doula comes home, comes to the hospital once she's delivered, almost immediately once she's come out of recovery from cesarean, or if I wasn't there for the natural delivery, in recovery, I'm there to assist her, meet her baby, because now she feels like this is the closest companion to me. You know, you've massaged me prenatally.
Okay, so you massage prenatally as well?
I do. So we've done prenatal visits, we've established a communication and a bond. And so I go into hospital and I assist with breastfeeding, and then I do meals as well for the mom. So providing nutritional meals in hospital, because the hospital food is great, but according to our traditions and our culture, it's not always what's best for moms.
Okay, so the ginger bark and the soups, the ginger soup and everything else, that the traditional porridge that we make for confining mothers, you're saying that it's a one-stop facility with a doula, that you could provide a whole basket of services where it would be made easier for the family.
Yes, definitely. It's basically everything that you need for your mom to be taken care of holistically and emotionally. So the food is of utmost importance, I think, as well, because if a mother is nutritionally cared for, then again, she's emotionally stable. Yes.
Okay. But you were also coming to the point postnatal, where you said, you made reference to the massaging. You said the body takes quite a beating after the birthing process, and it's important to massage both the mother, but I also read that doulas massage the baby.
Yes.
If you can shed some light on that, please.
Okay, so the benefits of massaging a baby is increasing circulation. It's helping with removing the meconium from their tummy. Babies have been in the womb for 9 months, and towards the end, in the last trimester, they're quite squashed.
Yes.
So when you're massaging, we're doing specific pressure points. We're assisting them with stretching out, lengthening the body, and then loosening the body up. So it helps to digest the food a lot easier.
So for the baby that's colicky?
For the baby that's colicky, again, we know our limits. So I can advise a mom with what herbal treatments we can offer the baby, and what massages I can do. But then there are often referrals that I can share with the mom to take her baby to afterwards. Because again, a doula knows when our limits stop.
So what may those referrals be, just from your patients that you've worked with?
Okay, so my referral, once we, excuse me, we do a lot of seminars that we need to keep up to date with our information. And at one of them, I came across a lady that does craniofacial therapy. And obviously, she's got a lot more knowledge that she can tell you about. But she maneuvers the baby's spine and head so that she can remove strains across the spine to help with the digestive system. And I've noticed that with reflux,
Fascinating,
yes, that is really amazing. With reflux and with colic, she makes a huge difference with babies where they don't even need the medication.
I'm going to interrupt you there.
Okay.
Hold on to that. We've got a caller on the line.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Can you present your question to Rehana, Sister Rehana?
Wa alaikum salam.
I don't know if I just come to my own information. I read an article, very interesting article, where it was mentioned that each type of conception, the child already identified the mother. And now I want to know if in the event of after birth, something goes wrong and the child passes away, then what is the, for your search of the child, what will be the outlook of the child, if you're aware of that?
Did you get the question?
Now, what would be the outlook?
Yes, what will be the outlook of the child in the future, the child's future?
If the mother passes
If the mother passes away.
Yes, then nurtured
Okay.
by somebody else.
I think, again, it's not specifically my expertise, but I think if a baby is cared for by the father as well, because the father is always present with the mum, and if the baby hears the voice of the father, and I think when we've noticed if a mother passes away in a birth, the baby does take a bit of time to adjust, but there's always someone there to offer that support, and they've been given that almost sabr, if I can say the word, to adjust to not having a mother.
No, Rihanna, what I want to know is what happens if it's another female that adopts the child?
I think,
Okay.
can I come in, brother? Just looking at attachment theory, we know like people like Bowlby, Ainsworth speaks about attachment theory, and you are absolutely correct. Being in the womb, that baby already connects if you look at the neurobiological studies that have been conducted, the nerve fibers, the synaptic nerves, they actually connect with the mother. But when the mother is not available, like you say, when there's the sudden disruption or interruption where the mother's taken away from the child, it's implicit. So there are neurobiological changes, but because there's another attachment figure available, babies are resilient, children are resilient, they will overcome that loss. And it will not affect their pathways or the neurological pathways, because they will continue, they will adapt, provided that there is continued secure attachment that is provided. So in this case, it might be the biological father, it might be another significant female adult in the child's life, which could certainly make a positive impact on the life of their child.
Very good.
Right. Shukran dalilan. Sorry,
That's fine.
we can.
Okay, so
We have another caller.
Okay.
Lovely. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, unfortunately, the caller's gone. We can
Okay.
continue.
All right, so something, if you look at that question also, I'm just thinking, when it comes to adoption, the baby automatically accepts the mother or the new mother that's adopted that baby. Or if a baby's been abandoned, they would, like you say, latch onto that new person. Sometimes on a later stage, they do say that there is that implantation of trauma on the baby. So sometimes at a later stage, you can do counseling. And that's where craniofacial therapy comes in as well, because they go back and they do mapping.
So the alternate healing.
The alternate healing to help the baby overcome that trauma.
Very interesting. Yeah. And on that note, we'll take an ad break and continue with Rehana Shavus on the role of a doula. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're at the third segment of Health Matters, and guest in studio today is Rihanna Chavu, speaking on the role of a doula and the kind of support that is provided by a doula. Now, you mentioned a lot about, you said huawar food, the foods that are special foods that are prepared for a confining mother. Can you unpack that a little bit, please?
Okay, so the huawar foods comes from an old traditional aspect that we used to, from our granny's time, maybe even before then. And they believe that after you give birth, you have to eat a specific diet. Now, many doctors don't believe that you need to eat anything specific. Even your lactation consultants would say, just eat something that is nutritious and keep snacking continuously throughout the day. And that's exactly what huawar food is. It's small meals, it's light meals, but it's nutritious. It's proper protein, it's wheat, it's nuts, it's everything healthy and everything organic that you need to produce a good quantity of milk.
I'm going to stop you. We've got a caller. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister, can you switch off your television, please? The sound is echoing.
Okay, off now.
Okay. So you said it's rich. Have we still got the call on the line? Sister, okay, please go ahead.
Hello, I'm Tasky.
I said go ahead with your question.
Oh, I'm just a doula that wants to congratulate her for being on the air. And so to tell her that I'm very glad that getting such good exposure, and just to share something that I, as you know, also enjoy in what I do.
Lovely. Please go ahead, sister.
I beg pardon?
Go ahead. Share your sentiments.
Okay. My name is Vanessa Ismail, and I'm a doula from KZN. And I'm a food doula. And I just want to say that I'm so grateful that doulas are getting exposure, because we have been around for quite a while now. And just that it's taken a while for people to get used to the fact that there are trained professionals out to assist them. So I'm very grateful to hear that they are getting the exposure that they need, and also that they are recognized for the professionals that they are.
So you are grateful for the recognition and validation of the wonderful work that the doulas are providing out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, alhamdulillah, and shukran for calling in.
Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, we were talking about the nutritional value, and you mentioned the nuts, the wheat, the protein, and the light foods, and the ginger soup and the ginger bark that confining mothers are eating. So what is your responsibility or role in those foods?
Okay, so I didn't take it for granted. I had my baby in Nabil 7 years ago, and I was forced to have these foods, especially the hua water, which most girls...
The dill water, yes.
No one wants to drink that.
It's quite bitter, hey?
Yeah, I heard it's quite good for the plants because they usually throw it out the window.
Okay.
So I went and I did a bit of research about it, and the benefits of the dill water itself is amazing. It's got a really strong, full source of calcium, higher than most. And we all know that our bodies need that calcium. The baby takes a lot of calcium in birth and with breastfeeding. So the dill water provides that calcium. It helps detox the body.
But doesn't it help with digestion as well?
It helps with digestion. It helps remove winds. It even helps getting rid of meconium from the baby's tummy.
Yes.
And it helps with breaking down winds in the baby's tummy, because they're born with a very immature gut.
Okay.
And all that they need is mom's breast milk. And all mom needs to do is eat correctly.
So what does the doula do? I mean, you've mentioned all these foods. Are you actually involved in the preparation and delivery of these foods?
Yes. My mom and I have a small business where she prepares all the mixes.
Okay.
And so we have two sections of it. The
Okay.
one is you can buy the pack already prepared, and all you have to do, it comes with a guided, a book that offers guidelines, and all you have to do is take each mixture and do it yourself.
Okay.
Or I go one step further and prepare the foods and then deliver it to you every morning.
So it's a door-to-door service.
A door-to-door service. So I prepare a
Okay.
full day's meal to your home every morning. Yes.
Excellent.
So, I mean, it helps because you have a baby to worry about. Sometimes you have other children to worry about as well. And not everybody has that support of other family members. So it just offers you peace of mind that you know your food and your nutrition is sorted out for the
So
day.
you're also providing a state of security to that mother who
Yes.
may have other stresses, or who can then solely focus on herself and the baby.
Yes.
She doesn't have to worry about all these extra responsibilities of taking care of herself and the family.
Yes. And then what doulas also do is we try and create a support group for the mom. So sometimes if you can't manage to do school rounds, we're trying to now create a support group where we can get transport services to assist the mom, and ladies that cook at home to offer food for the rest of the family. And then we do night nurses as well. So
Okay.
a full package, just so that the mother knows that she doesn't need to worry about any of this except care for yourself, take time out for yourself and for your baby, and bond with your baby. And just to make the transition a lot easier.
So how long do you provide this service? You said you start from the time a mother's pregnant, the birthing process, and postnatal. So how long does this actually continue for?
The postnatal one-on-one service and me going home is up to 6 weeks. Post 6 weeks, I still have moms that message me because then their babies would start teething, or they have other issues and milestones. So I still keep in contact with them, but that is not actually a paid service. That is just because I create such a close bond with them, they become friends. So it's just offering my
So
sort
you
of
establish
opinion.
that rapport, and you continue nurturing that
Nurturing that mother
relationship.
for sometimes up to a year.
Okay.
And but mostly postnatal care is up to 6 weeks or 40 days, and that's usually our hover period.
That's
the
right.
40
It's
days.
a traditional sort of cut-off point.
Yes. Medical as well, because
Okay.
our doctors and our gynaes would tell us it takes a mom 6 weeks to
And they
recover.
have the 6-week medical checkup.
Yes, so it takes us 6 weeks to recover. But
Okay.
ideally for a new mom, it takes up to 2 years to recover mentally from a delivery and pregnancy of a baby.
But you're also lending ear to that mother, because if the baby's colicky, feeding problems, you are there to provide support, assistance, and be physically available and accessible
Yes,
to the mother.
to the mother. And then and colic can be quite a difficult process for the moms and for both parents, for mom and dad.
I think colic, you're right, absolutely. It could be, the breaking point for a
Yes.
mother. Her nerves become totally shattered.
Yes.
It impacts on the marriage as well.
Yeah. And the other thing is, what we need to know is doulas don't take the place of the husband, be it prenatally or in the birthing space or even postnatally. Our job is not there to take the place of the husband. No one can take his place. Our job is to support the mother and sometimes even the father, and help him to support his wife and to help her and know what to say and what not to say to a new mother. So our job is to help the entire family
So all the
transition.
preparation in the world, and we know that no instruction manual can actually sufficiently prepare a mother to have a baby.
No, definitely. And often we tend to forget the role of the father. And we have to realize how important his role is in postnatal.
And of course, how important his support and
Yeah, definitely.
understanding of the emotional and physical state of the mother.
Yes, because if you're feeling, I think because you've conceived the baby with him, you've got the closest bond to him, and it's his baby as well. And if he can support you correctly, then your marriage will strengthen. There's a study that says approximately 80% of marriages suffer after a baby has been born because the dad feels like he doesn't have a place once the baby
A
is
sense
born.
of rejection.
Yes, and the mom is now preoccupied because all our time goes in. Even having a shower is a novelty once you have a baby, or having a cup of tea before it's gone cold is a novelty once you have a baby. So having the dad there, knowing his place and how to support and take responsibility, and giving him responsibility as well to take a shift at night, and trusting him to be able to do that is quite important, because it does bring the marriage closer.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a question. How do people access the services of a doula? Where do they access that? And what are the cost implications of using the support of a doula?
Okay. Access, up until now, most of my access has been either mostly word of mouth. So from people that have used me and then have referred me on to their family members and friends. I do have an Instagram page. I've got a Facebook page. And if I cannot assist you, then...
Okay, so we've got it up there
yes,
as well.
if I cannot assist you, then obviously I will refer you on to one of my colleagues that would be able to assist you in your area. Because it's a one-on-one service, it has to be in your area. And we've been lucky enough to know that there's a few Muslim girls now that are starting to be doulas and now starting to offer that support in smaller areas. So yes, if you need a doula, or if you just need that extra support to someone to talk to, then contact me and I can refer you on to other people.
And is there a website? I know we said that you belong, or you're affiliated to the DOSA Institute.
So DOSA has now moved on to new management, and they're creating a full support group for new mums, as well as a continuum of care. So DOSA has a website, dosa.org.za, but it's not fully established yet. So we're still busy trying to work on it. There's a few people that are still in the process of working on that.
Okay. We'll
website.
take an ad break, and then it will be moving on to the last segment and summarize. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We've come to the last segment of Health Matters, and our discussion has been on the role and responsibilities of a doula, and our guest is Rihanna Chavus. Now, we were talking about the benefits, the services, and accessing the support of a doula. Rihanna, we spoke about where to access the support of the doula. But a question that I asked you, which I don't think you responded to, was the cost implications.
Yes. The costs do vary from each doula.
Okay.
We try and make it as affordable as possible. And each service is slightly different. And depending on how far we have to travel, we usually...
Okay, so that does impact on the costing.
Yes, it does. Because if
structures.
I'm living in, say, the east and I need to travel all the way to the west or the north, I need to offer that service, yes, but I also need to cover my costs with travel. But we're trying to make it as affordable as possible so that everybody that needs it, because I feel everybody does need it. So everyone that needs the service can access it. So approximately, if I can give a rough amount, would be about 300 to 350 per consult.
Okay.
And then as you need other services, it obviously varies, yes.
So, Rihanna, we talked about the postnatal. Now, we know that a lot of people postnatal, it's not always so apparent, or sometimes it's masked, the postnatal depression.
Yes.
Where do you see the role of the doula in supporting that postnatal depression with the mother?
Okay. Postnatal depression is a real problem. Many moms experience postnatal blues, which I would say at least 90% of mothers experience postnatal blues. And one of the reasons is you give birth and you have all these hormones in you that you need for the delivery process. And then your hormone level drops completely. And that fluctuation for your body to get used to takes some adjusting. And so the postnatal blues would come in once you had lack of sleep and you have a crying baby, which is so normal. And the postnatal blues usually last between day 3 and day 8. But postnatal depression then prolongs after that. And you start feeling teary, you start feeling excessive emotions, either
and hypersensitive.
People would come in and say something so normal, and you would take offense to it.
An innocuous statement could actually be quite devastating for the mother.
We need to be very careful when we visit a new mother. We need to know what to say and what not to say, and watch what we're chatting about and what we're asking her. So try and be as supportive as possible. And if she feels comfortable with you, she'll actually open up to you and be able to tell you what's going on. And that's where the doula comes in. Because even if I've never met a mom and the first time I'm meeting her is in postnatal, I would go and just be gentle about it and chat to her and try and be as accommodating and comfortable and try and listen as much as possible to her. And slowly they do open up. And then you try and get to the crux of the issue. And then the one issue I have is convincing the family that she needs medical assistance, because it is a medical issue. It's not something that you can just snap out of.
And often people are in denial.
Yes, and postnatal depression can last up to 18 months.
And it's a reality.
It is a reality. And it's something that can be easily taken care of if you get to it as soon as possible. If you care about the mother quickly and you get her the help that she needs, the sooner you get her the help, the quicker she'll recover.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's been successful with your patients that you've worked with in the past?
Yes. With me, I've had, initially I've had a bit of a difficulty convincing the family around us that the mother has postnatal depression, which I find it quite difficult because they're all about the baby. And the mother needs to rest and take the baby away when the mother is exhausted and teary.
Okay.
But in actual fact, you need to take the baby and put the baby with the mother.
Okay.
We don't only take the baby to the mother when she needs to feed. That's a problem that we always cause.
And it's all about the bonding process. That attachment starts from the womb and it continues, and the closeness, the close proximity and consistency in connecting with the baby.
And one issue
that.
is we feel that a mother should automatically take to her baby after birth. And it's not always the case with many moms.
Yeah, and it's not like this instant love. You see this suddenly beautiful creature in front of you and everybody expects you to just demonstrate lots of love.
Yes.
That's not the reality.
That's
but
not
Rihanna,
reality.
I'm going to have to be quite brief now. We've come to the last 2 minutes of the segment.
Okay.
So perhaps you can just leave the viewers with a few key messages.
Okay. When it comes to postnatal support, I think we need to offer non-judgmental support to the mother. We need to offer her all the care and listen to what she's actually telling you and support her with whatever she chooses to do. We need to give them that space as a family to adjust to having a new baby and not crowd them continuously.
And often I think that's the challenge because everybody's so excited and overzealous and everybody rushes there and overcrowds and can be quite overwhelming for the mother.
It is. For some moms, as soon as you come home, the house is full of visitors. So we need to just allow them that space to adjust into a new environment because it takes quite some time, about 48 hours.
Shukran. I think you've highlighted the most important things, and I think the viewers will certainly understand and appreciate the role of a doula.
Yes.
We have come to the end of the session, and it's customary we will end with a holy recitation from the Quran. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khus illa alladhina آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. And we will continue with health matters next week. I would certainly like to express our appreciation to Rihanna. It has been most enlightening and informative. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.